Hi Steve, how are you today?
I'm doing great, how are you?
Good. Hey, I wanted to thank you for coming in today and talking to me a little bit about Myers-Briggs. I appreciate that.
Sure.
Now, as you know, I asked you, along with several other folks within the organization, we'll be asking you a few questions. Oh, I'm sorry, redo that because I'm cutting that part right there because I did that with the first one. Okay. Hi Steve, how are you?
I'm great, thanks. How are you?
Good, thank you. Thank you for coming today. I just wanted to be able to have a chance to ask you a few questions related around Myers-Briggs and how you incorporate it here in your day-to-day work.
Sure.
So your focus that I had you take a look at was extroversion, introversion. Do you know just a general overview about the differences between those two?
Extroverts are get their energy from dealing with bigger groups, and I always feel that it's more the people than the idea. And so the people, make sure the people are happy and make sure that I'm connecting with them and not so much of the ideas.
Okay, yeah, good track.
Is that on track?
Yeah, extroverts get energy from the outside world. Introverts get it internally. So very good. And so related around that, which line do you think you have a preference towards, extroversion or introversion?
Extroversion.
Okay. And so what do you do in your day-to-day work to energize you as an individual who prefers extroversion?
In a help desk role, it's actually pretty easy because my day is focused around people who have a question, people who have a problem. And I think my favorite part of my job is the fact that I have 600 best friends out there that need some help. And to be able to walk up to anyone's desk and say, hey, I've got a call that came in, and what's going on? I hear that your group wide is having problems, something like that. But it becomes very easy to just make those connections all over the company and let them energize me for my day in order to get to the next call.
Great. So the more calls you get, the more energized you get, it sounds like.
That's right.
All right, great. Well, there are times, of course, during the day where you need to do the opposite, which in your case would be introversion. So what do you do to balance?
A lot of times the extrovert can make a lot of friends and make everybody happy, but then you realize that sometimes those little tasks and procedures are falling behind. And I find that the secret little stolen times, like right before meetings, I'll set up a laptop and projector for a meeting. I'll sign on real quick and get everything done, and then get all the processes done, and then that's good. But in my case, I'm not comfortable there until the people have come in for the meeting, and I say, hey, how's it going? Welcome to meeting. I got your laptop ready. Make them feel comfortable, and then I can kind of sneak out. And again, kicks me off on the next ticket, is because I'm ready with their laptop and everything's good.
Oh, great. So you're able to balance both sides there and work through both of those during the day.
Right.
That's great. And then get that little bit of the energy perk then.
That's right. Kick me off on the next one.
Very good. Now, of course, our overall goal is, two heads are better than one. So getting more perspectives and more ideas just to grow our overall knowledge and understanding. So how do you incorporate ideas from those that have an opposite preference from you?
There's nothing like learning from an opposite. I mean, I married an introvert, and there's nothing like learning a separate way of looking at things to say, you know what, organization does work, and it does help me move through my day. So
that might be another Myers-Briggs letter in there, that organizational piece.
That's right. But being able to take care of business in internalizing and finding the solution, whether it's the proper procedures to move through things, instead of just winging it and saying, hey, yeah, is everybody okay with this? Is this going to work? But having more of a procedural way of getting through things that is every time I learn something like that, it's that little piece of gold that I don't naturally develop, but something like that is, that's definitely borrowed from the introverts on that one. And in IS, I'm surrounded by introverts. Historically, it's been, if you look at your application developers, most of them are introverts. And when I have a help desk, when I need a question answered, I normally go to an introvert to do it. Because another extrovert at the help desk, the same parallel jobs, but when I have something that's at a higher level than me, quite often it's an introvert who has, a degree in IS and IT stuff, and they've really had years and years of processing all this information to come up with procedures and internally the way to problem solve. And I love it when I can just say, yes, hey, you're my help desk, thank you so much.
Good.
And then take that back to the customers. With a big smile.
Very good. Well, it sounds like you're talking a little bit about the introversion, extroversion, and then more, it sounds like too, also the organizational structure planning piece, which is the J&P.
Right.
So it sounds like you do a lot and really think about Myers-Briggs and, you know, and incorporating it, and how can you leverage each other's strengths as you're going through the workday.
Yeah.
Because of course, extroverts, you mentioned a lot about introverts having strengths, but extroverts have a lot of strengths too, and so really being able to leverage both sides definitely makes a better product idea or solution, like you said.
Right.
So, well, thank you so much for providing those examples and sharing your insights in relation to that.
Absolutely,
I
my
really
pleasure.
appreciate it.